My name is Jamie Lee, and today I'll be doing a review of the movie Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. But before I jump into my review, I just want to give a massive shout out to my friends over at Universal Pictures for allowing me to be one of the first people in Australia to catch this flick. It's an amazing opportunity, and I'm ever so grateful and extremely thankful to you guys. So thank you so much for that opportunity. Now let's jump into the review. Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, the juice is loose, baby. Beetlejuice is back from the dead. Well, not really, because he's still dead, but he's back on our screens after 36 years in the making. And if you loved Beetlejuice, you're going to love Beetlejuice Beetlejuice because it is everything that the first movie was, but better. It pays homage and it is a beautiful tribute to the first, and it just builds upon it and improves from that first movie in every possible way. Michael Keaton returns as, I want to say Batman there, but no, I've already done my Flash review. Michael Keaton returns as Beetlejuice, and he is as kooky, as perverted, and as outrageous as ever. He is working in the afterlife. He has an office job now, and he's working in the afterlife, still pursuing his teenage heartthrob, Lydia. But Lydia has grown up a lot from the first movie. She is still played by Winona Ryder. However, she is now a mum, and she works as a medium/TV presenter for a reality TV show called Ghost House, much to the disgust of her daughter Astrid, played by Jenna Ortega. Astrid also isn't too pleased with her mum's business partner / annoyingly self-centered, self-loathing, completely cringy boyfriend, Rory, played by Justin Theroux. Hilariously joining in on the disgust is Lydia's stepmother Delia, played by Catherine O'Hara, who is returning from the first movie. After grieving a loss, Astrid tries branching out and meeting new people and trying new things, and when she does, she is trapped in the afterlife, and it's up to Lydia to work with Beetlejuice in order to save her daughter and bring her back to the living. Very much like the first flick, this movie had stellar casting. All the performances were absolutely exceptional, to the point where you're either rooting for the character or rooting against them, but either way, you like all of the characters in some aspect. It's also significantly more funny than the first one. I found myself laughing at dialogue more, and if I wasn't laughing at the dialogue, there would be expressions or one-liners that Michael Keaton would throw out as Beetlejuice that you would just have to laugh at because he's just so quirky and so likable, or so messed up that you're like, oh my God. Those moments were in this movie a lot more. The standout performance for me in the movie was Catherine O'Hara. I know I'm a bit biased because I love her and everything that she's in pretty much, but in this movie, I just could not stop laughing at her performance and how carefree she was, being so self-loathing and everything revolving around her and her character, and just the disgust that she had with Rory, Lydia's boyfriend. All of that was way too funny for me, and she just went above and beyond with her performance. Another aspect to this movie that I really liked is that it still feels like it's a movie from the 80s, even though it's a movie that was made in the 2000s. The lack of, I know they still use some sort of CGI in the movie, but the lack of CGI and the added use of things like puppets and goo and blood splatter and those practical effects, it just really makes it feel like it's a tribute to Beetlejuice. Like you are watching Beetlejuice again, but just better, improved upon, but it still has that sort of 80s feel, that kooky, creepy, weird feel, and I really liked that. For example, we still see the sandworms, and they look like the sandworms that were in Beetlejuice, except better. We meet these characters with Beetlejuice in the afterlife, and they look super kooky, super weird, but the way that they were brought out on screen was using practical effects, and you can see that because they look so strange, but they're also super creative in the way that they portray how that person died to get into the afterlife. And I thought some of those ways to show how these people died, like how they were actually killed, was super creative and also very funny. Likewise with the score and the soundtrack, this movie had some really awesome songs, but it also paid homage to the original songs that were in, or the main original song that was in Beetlejuice. And the way that they incorporated these songs into the scenes was just hilarious. I thought it was extremely funny. I'll give an example of what I mean by that. There were dead who were about to board the Soul train, and there was a whole bunch of them that were dancing to soul music, and just little tiny things like that. I thought was a really creative touch, very funny, and it just made the movie so much fun to watch. The plot is really entertaining. I love that it pays respect to the original movie by mentioning the Maitlands and why they're no longer around. I love that the original cast, or most of the original cast members, have returned for this movie. I think that helps in the sense that we are already familiar with the Deetz family, and we sort of pay tribute to the original storyline, but they're expanding on that by having these characters go in different directions in this movie, but there is still that familiarity there, and you do already like, or at least know, some of these characters already. Along the way though, we do get to meet some new characters, with Willem Dafoe joining the cast as Wolf Jackson, and Monica Bellucci joins the cast playing Delores, who is a blast from Beetlejuice's past. Astrid finds a love interest in Jeremy, played by Arthur Conti, so we do get to meet some new faces along our journey. I did feel like towards the middle of the movie, things were getting a bit overcomplicated. I feel like there were 4 different storylines that were trying to weave in together to fit the entire story. I feel like the storyline to do with Beetlejuice's blast from the past probably could have been scrapped and put into, say, a 3rd movie. That way we could solely focus wow, clever. See what I did there? That way we could focus on stretching out the storylines to do with the main characters, or we could have spent a little bit more time with the black-eyed Beetlejuice himself. Don't get me wrong, Monica looked stunning. She looked like something out of Wednesday, really. She looked like Morticia Addams, and that opening scene where we see her piece herself together was completely captivating. But I just feel like towards the middle of the movie, things started to get very full, so that when we got to the final scenes, the villains were disposed of quite quickly, and I feel like that was a little bit underdone. It was not rushed, but it was just super quick and swept under the rug sort of thing. So we could have probably not had that storyline and put it in another one. But in saying that, it didn't take away from the plot at all. It was just sort of there, just sort of thrown in. But the storyline still flowed really well. It was extremely fun to watch. As I said, it was really funny, really kooky, and I had a blast watching it. I think that if you're a fan of the brilliance of the first Beetlejuice movie, then you will love Tim Burton's Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. I would love to know if you are going to see this in the cinemas. If you are, let your juices be looses in the comment section below. Type a yes, or any comment at all will be perfectly fine. I'm not going to judge you. If it's not a yes, I'll still love you anyway. Leave a comment in the comment section, and if you're not already, please subscribe to my channel, and then head on over to my gaming channel and give me a sub over there as well, please. And you can find me on all of the socials. My links are in the description box. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.